let me go back to the questions one more time. Sorry about that, guys. My apologies. So his first question was from Kevin. Does a place like Merrick Health take insurance for blood work? I'm natural. My last blood test was in 2013 at age 53. And I'm going to pause right there just to say, guys, do not go 10 years without a blood test. Do not go 10 years without a physical. I hear from guys all the time. They haven't been to see a doctor in years and years. You definitely don't want to do that to yourself. That's taking a massive risk. A lot of things could be happening that you have no idea. You could be catching something, God forbid, like cancer early. And if you don't, by the time the symptoms are really bad, it's too late. And get your blood work done. If you're natural, at least once a year. If you're using gear, I would say 2-3 times a year minimum, if not like 4 times a year or more. And as far as insurance, most TRT clinics do not take insurance. They don't. Let me make sure that I'm not muted. So most insurance companies will not cover that unless you're hypogonadal, which means you have to be clinically below normal range, which the normal range is typically considered 300 to 700 nanograms per deciliter. So if you're below a total T of 300, usually a regular doctor will prescribe you testosterone replacement therapy, or they might refer you to a urologist more commonly, because a lot of general practitioners don't want to deal with that. They don't feel comfortable because it's not their area of expertise. They don't get a lot of training in that area in med school. Apologize for you guys who were trying to hear me before and I was muted. So the TRT clinics, for the most part, don't take insurance. Like the one that I use Frontline Alternative, and they don't take insurance, but to reflect that, the prices are way, way down. They're very reasonable. Blood work might cost you $160, where if you're going through insurance and all that, you might pay your deductible, but the total price might end up being like $1,000, because that's how it works in the United States. Like an ambulance ride could cost you $2,000-$3,000. I've heard ridiculous things like that. A day in the hospital in intensive care can cost you like $20,000. Crazy, crazy things like that. Birthing a baby, I think the average price for childbirth in the U.S. is $50,000 or $60,000 now. Wow. So yeah, TRT clinics, typically you're paying out of pocket, but most of them will reflect that they understand that you're paying the full tab on your own. You're not just paying a deductible and they're not billing an insurance company for some exorbitant rate beyond that. So they will do that. Second part of his question was, he was denied a gym membership because he was over 50. He's 63 now. He wanted to know, can a gym actually do that? Kind of a gray area. I looked up in the United Kingdom, they can't. I know that. They had some act where they can't discriminate you against age in places like that, like a gym where the public can just pay a fee and enter. It's not considered like a private club. Private clubs can kind of do what they want. Like restaurants can refuse service to people for any number of reasons. If you're not dressed appropriately, if you have a strong like marijuana odor or something, I don't know. They have all kinds of reasons. If you're really loud and boisterous, they can refuse to serve you. Gyms, I think, are more of a gray area. I did ask my gym. Sorry, I didn't see the sound because I had the other thing on. I asked my gym owner, Tim Dowling, of Bayshore Athletic Club in Braintree. I asked him, can a gym do that? And he didn't think so. So you might have a legal basis there, because over 50, that's a really low cap to say that they're taking a medical risk, a liability risk of having you in their gym. I could see maybe if you're really, really old, like 80, 90, 100 years old, something like that, the gym would not want you there out of fear that you're going to hurt yourself training with their equipment, a barbell or something, because most people of that age, their bones have become kind of fragile. They're a lot weak and just not as robust as they were. So there's a higher possibility of injury. So you might have a legal basis there. If you really wanted to pursue it, I would just contact a lawyer and see if they would be interested in, taking it on, because they would know right off the bat, I'm sure. Another option would be YMCAs. Most towns and cities in the United States have a YMCA, and they sort of do cater to all ages. It's supposed to be a community health and fitness center where people all the way from teenagers to geriatrics can exercise and swim and lift weights and play basketball, do all that good stuff. I know there's one down the street from me, and I was in there a couple of times with a client of mine that I was getting ready for a show, because she worked there as a trainer. And I saw a lot of senior citizens in there. So I'm very sure the YMCAs do not discriminate based on age. So no, it wasn't pre-recorded. Sorry. I would have seen these, except I had it on the, I was focused on the Facebook page. So my apologies, guys. So yeah, I see the chat. I see the chat now, but I was looking at the other screen. I wasn't going to the chat till I answered Kevin's question. So hopefully you guys have some questions now. The audio is doing a double take. Mute and try again. How about now? I'll unplug it. Okay. How about now, guys? How's it doing now? Can you hear you now? It's unlistenable. Yeah. So is it now? Okay, good. All right, so guys, please drop some questions in here now. Also curious, what's the longest some of you guys have gone without training? And was it intentional or unintentional? Obviously, this is unintentional for me, and I'll be back. I'm not really worried. My plan, thanks, Kevin. And again, I apologize to all you guys who tuned in, and I had the rookie mistake. I'm still making rookie mistakes at 54 years old. Yeah, like this was unintentional. I didn't plan it, but when I return to training, I have a plan in my head. Thursday is the first day back. I'm just going to do upper body, just a little bit for everything, light weights, high reps, just to, the reason that you can't weight train, they highly advise you not to weight train after a hair transplant is these were basically grafts. They're called hair grafts because they took the hair from back here, which is already growing back quite well, but 50% of the hair that's here now, that from the back of my head was taken out, and it was put in the crown, as you can see, the crown area, which that's going to be rough. I really hope that grows in. And here, the hairline. And I looked at pictures. So my hairline had gone in the middle, it was about an inch higher. And on the sides here, this whole area was receded quite badly. So you could see the original hair, how much thicker it's already growing back. This hair is going to take a while. I was told it's going to be about 3 to 4 months before I start really seeing a good result here, where it looks just like my hair is growing back normally, where you can't tell the difference between where it was grafted and the donor hair areas. The crown is a little more iffy. The crown, the top of the head here, this has only a 50 to 60% chance of success in all hair transplants, primarily because it has a less of a poorer, much less, a worse blood supply. So they highly recommend getting PRP, plasma platelet rich therapy. No, plasma platelet, PRP, plasma rich platelets. So what they do is, they draw some of your blood and they put it in a centrifuge and spin it around to separate the, I guess, more dense platelets, and they inject that into that area, which is giving an artificial boost to the blood supply. You're supposed to do that every month for 6 months, starting like a month or two after the transplant, to give it a better chance of success. So this I'm not worried about. And this, I'm not really worried, because worrying about it's not going to help the matter, right? So they also included, first I thought I paid an extra $1,500 just to stay an extra day and to get this tour. And I was kind of like, what? That's a pretty damn expensive tour. Then I realized they sent me home with this whole bag of oils and potions and concoctions to put on the hair that's going to last about a year, hair vitamins. I didn't even realize that everyone didn't get that until I was with a couple of younger guys. We all left the same day. And they came out with a gift bag and only gave me one. The other guy's like, huh? I said, oh, I got the gold package. I thought that was only because I got the tour and an extra day. We stayed one more day at the hotel. So good to know. So yeah, the turkey hair experience was actually not as, I'm not going to say rip off. It wasn't rip off at all, because if you did it in the US, it would be $20,000 to $30,000. And, there's a guy at my gym, Chris, if you hear me, he had it done the same day, coincidentally. I'm not going to say your last name, Chris, don't worry. He doesn't want anyone to know he got a hair transplant. But he was back in the gym in 2 weeks, and he was saying, you can go back in the gym. I'll say, no, I'm not going to screw this up. I went all the way to Turkey, halfway around the world, paid thousands of dollars at a time when I really shouldn't be spending money on something so vain and frivolous, considering I'm not working full time and I'm just doing stuff for Muscle Tech at this point and a couple other little side things. but I wasn't going to take that chance because I can always go to the gym. The gym's not going anywhere. And certainly I'd feel like such an idiot if I went back to the gym and ruined my hair transplant, sabotaged it so it was a failure just because I was impatient and couldn't wait another couple of weeks to lift weights, which I've been doing for 40 years. The weights aren't going anywhere. The gym's not going anywhere. I've actually gotten more done. Check this out. Let me unmute. Mute mic. Oh, now it's not muted. Good. So that's just, I'm just going back to my Facebook stuff. That's going to do, I'm doing this tomorrow. Still not muted, right? Good. Yeah, this is tomorrow. Oh, it's not presenting. Hang on. I'll show you guys. Share screen. Yeah, now it's going to mute. Now it's going to mute. No, it's not muted. Okay, good. So, yeah. Going to do this tomorrow with Jose. We'll put that up for tomorrow or Sunday. Oh, what was I trying to show you? I want to show you guys. Yeah. So I finished a book, another book. It's 8 stories, 7 nonfiction, 1 fiction. Yeah, pretty happy about that. A lot of stuff. It's a lot of memories in this one. A lot of rough nights throughout my life. A lot of instances where, as I was writing it, I realized, wow, I've been really lucky. I've been really lucky. Some things I've been through that I probably cheated death. Many times in my life. And you don't realize how lucky you are until you really stop and think about it. You might think about how many bad things happen to you in your life, but you don't realize until you really stop to think about it and take stock is how many bad things could have happened to you, but you just had a stroke of luck or something, or someone intervened at the last minute. It's kind of like in all those movies where someone's about to die, someone's like pointing a gun at them and then they get shot and you're like, oh, okay. Just unexpected. They got saved. So I've been very, very fortunate. There are a lot of things, and I'm sure this has happened to all of you. There's probably a lot of times, if you really think back, there's times when you should have been dead, car accidents, things where you missed death you cheated death by like that much. So we've all probably been a lot luckier than we think, but we tend to focus on the unlucky things that have happened to us, or the misfortunate things, and not really focus so much on, the great things that have happened to us. Let's see here. You have all the old shows from MD on your channel. No. Thanks, Arturo Avala. So we have Ask Dr. T for right now. I have not added any other shows from the old. I mean, that's the only one that I really wanted to, and simply because people kept asking me for it. George Tuliatos, Dr. T. People love that show, and they love the fact that they could come to George with these questions that who's going to answer these questions? They could ask, some steroid guru, or they could ask a doctor, but a lot of doctors don't know much about the PEDs and the effects they have on people and things like that, and how to stay safer while using them. And obviously a lot of guys who are experts on steroids, they know everything they know about, health. They're not medical doctors. Maybe they've spent a good amount of time online looking at things on Google or PubMed or something, but it's not the same as going to medical school, finishing medical school and becoming a medical doctor, which George is. He's a medical doctor. And George wanted to keep doing the show. He missed having that outlet, and he likes helping people. So we brought that show back. I'm not sure what else is going to come back. I'll be doing interviews. I've been doing contest previews. I'm not going to be bringing back MD shows per se, because that was MD, and that channel's still going. There's nothing being added to it, but the channel's still up. It's still up, and there's still a chance somebody might buy the company. I know the owner, Steve Bleckman, is open to the idea. So if somebody comes in and buys the company, it would be a package deal. They would get the social media accounts. They would get the YouTube channel. If they wanted the print magazine, if they want to continue that, they would have all the rights to the whole brand. So I'm not going to be taking MD shows, but maybe Jose, if he's interested, I'll talk to him. For No Way Jose, Fak, I haven't talked to Fak in a while. Talking about Fakhri Mubarak, he's always down. He's a great guy, Fakhri. I love Fakhri. So we'll see. Kevin, I think you mean Dr. Tuliatos, because if you're talking about Thomas O'Connor, the anabolic doc, who I'm actually going to be working with him, helping him as a sort of brand ambassador with his training app. He has the Anabolic Doc training app. Right now it's only on PC, but it's going to be launching on, the phone version of what we consider an app in a couple months. And I'll be working with him on that. But myself and Dr. T, we've done 3 new shows so far. Please check those out. They're on this channel. The channel is now called Ron Harris Muscle, like it should have been all along. Duh. Because I've had that Instagram for over 10 years, Ron Harris Muscle. I don't know why I didn't just change the channel name back then. Didn't think the transplant doesn't work, just wearing a wig. I got to show you guys something. Merkins. I got to show you guys something real quick that I just thought was hilarious. Maybe my sense of humor is a little twisted, but let me just find it for you. I didn't think this was a thing. I'm not going to get shut down for this. This is not pornographic. Let's go to images. Yeah, okay. Oh boy. All right, guys. So this is something I didn't realize was a thing. Let's go. It's a Merkin wigs. So not muted, right? These are wigs. These are pubic hair wigs. Why? I don't get it. Does anyone understand why? Why wouldn't you just grow your pubic? This is for women. I'm assuming it's mostly women that buy this, but why would women not just grow their pubic? Why would you shave your pubic hair and then put a wig on top? Why wouldn't you just let your hair grow? But this is a real thing, and people buy this stuff. Obviously, it's listed on all these websites. Yeah, I'm just a very childish, immature person at times. Tell Jose we miss him on the chat. Shows he's a good dude. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, look, so tomorrow we're going to do an Arnold preview. I'm not going to do it live. I'm going to record it with him, just because I want to just go through it without the distraction of having, and it would take, I know you guys would love to talk to him, but his time is kind of limited. He's a trainer down at Gym Hub Boston, a couple other places. So I wouldn't want to take up like two hours or more of his time with that, unless we could do a No Way Jose live at some point. Maybe I'll talk to him about it. We'll see if he's down for it. If he is, that'd be awesome, because it's out of the kindness of his heart. We're good friends and everything, but he'd be doing me a favor. Let's see. Would you rather go to a gym mostly girls like Gym Hub or mostly guys? Mostly guys, to be honest. Of course, I love, I love looking at women. Women are beautiful. They make the world go round. But when you're trying to train hard, I guess you could look at it 2 ways, Raymond. You could look at it as well. They get the testosterone flowing, and it's kind of motivating. See a hot girl, and maybe you'll lift a little more weight. Maybe you'll do a few more reps because you're trying to impress her. I have no one to impress. I've been married for almost 33 years, but I'm saying in general, as men. But lately, the gym culture with women, it's become, as Joey Swoll has pointed out, it's become very toxic, where a lot of young women especially, they'll be recording themselves for social media, for YouTube, for TikTok. They love TikTok. So they're recording themselves for public consumption so that theoretically millions of people will see them, including men, right? It's not just women who are looking at them on TikTok. And if it wasn't for men looking at them on social media, Instagram, TikTok, they'd have no following, right? They'd have much less of a following. But you can get in big trouble. They'll call you out. They'll have you canceled. They'll film you and shame you for glancing. I've seen them. You've seen these Joey Swoll videos. If you don't follow Joey Swoll does one of these like every day, where it'll show some girl's like in a bikini recording herself posing in like an aerobics room, and they'll show a guy walk by, and for a split second he just turns his head to look, and he's probably just saying, "What's going on in here?" And she calls him out, and she zooms in on it in her TikTok and says, "Look at this creep ogling me and sexualizing me." And I don't want any part of that. When I'm in the gym now, I have to be even more careful than most of you, because I'm 54. I'm the creep. I could be the creepy old guy. I'm old enough to be most of these women's dad. When I go to a place like Gym Hub, I'm definitely old enough to be any of their dads. I mean, my youngest child is 24. My oldest will be 30 in April. So yeah, you got to be careful, and it's a distraction. So if you're going to a gym that's mostly guys, you're not dealing with that. You can focus on your training. Now, are you at the gym? If you're at the gym to socialize and shoot your shot, good luck with that. That's another thing you have to be careful of, because if you approach a woman now in public, if you approach a woman, generally speaking, the same exact approach can be looked at as cool, as they can welcome it, or they can be very, very upset and offended based on how you look. If you're a really good looking guy and charming and everything, you come up to a girl, she might smile and giggle, and maybe you'll get her phone number or Instagram or whatever. I don't know. But if you're older guy, or if you're unattractive, I can say ugly. If you're, as long as you're talking about men, you can say ugly. You can't say it about women. But if you're an unattractive guy or a balding, short, older guy or something, you come to a attractive young woman, she's immediately going to get what they call the ick. I can't stand that phrase, the ick. But she'll be offended, and she might end up putting you on blast on social media, saying this, this creep is harassing me at the gym. Maybe, she'll complain to the gym owner or a manager. I mean, at the very least, she's going to post it, even though it's illegal to post anything of somebody like that, I think, without their permission. I know the gym's considered sort of a public place, but yeah, you can't. I mean, even if you watch reality TV, any reality TV shows, you'll notice the people in the background, their faces are blurred up. Unless they signed a waiver, a consent form, they can't broadcast their image without a consent form. It's illegal. So, yeah, I don't know how they get away with it. Oh, you're talking about Giles? Oh, Giles. Yeah, Giles would. Yeah, I love Giles. Obviously, he's my pal, man. I've known Giles now for almost 15 years. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's my brother from another mother over there in the UK. Yeah, upbeat and a great dude. I might do. I think I want to do an interview with him, but I'm afraid we're going to get canceled. Giles had a heart attack. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was 2021. I'm losing track of time now. But he had a heart attack, and he was on all kinds of meds. And eventually he got to a point where he was feeling pretty bad, and he decided to do something radical, and he stopped taking all the medications they had prescribed to him. It's a ballsy move, man. I mean, I don't think I would have the guts to do that. I'd be scared. Lo and behold, he feels way better now. He's had blood work done. He's had an echocardiogram. Everything checks out. He's in great health, and he's off all his meds. He's just on like a low dose of TRT. I think he does like 150 milligrams a week or something. I'm on, so I'm doing 150 milligrams of testcipionate and 50 milligrams of Deca, which I just started today. I ran out of it a couple months ago. I just got a refill. I'm doing that every 4 days. So I think that works out to about 300 divided by 8. You guys make me do math now? Yeah, okay. I'm just curious because I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what that would actually be. A lot of you guys can probably do that in your head. So I said 300 divided by 8 would be, no, I want to do, yeah, so 300 divided by 8 is 37.5. So if I do that times 7, that'd be 262.5. So I'm on 262.5 milligrams of test sip a week, which is slightly above these generic dose that most guys are given is 200 milligrams a week. A lot of guys are on 250, so I'm on a little smidge, just a little smidge more. That's certainly, I've gone in my life many times in past cycles, 750 milligrams of test a week, at times 1,000 milligrams. I don't think I ever did more than a gram of test a week. I did cycles where a few times where I was up around 3 grams total, but that was with everything. That was like test, trend, equipoise, God, everything. But I feel fine. Yeah, pubic hair wigs. Pubic hair wigs. Yeah, I mean, does anything surprise me? Nothing really surprises me anymore. I honestly can say it takes a lot for me to get surprised. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. The world has gone so crazy. I sound like an old fart, but man, the world has just gotten so insane and crazy. Like nothing really surprises me anymore. It's rare. Double M, girl gym is just a sexual assault charge waiting to happen, and baby weights. Well, I mean, we're talking about a regular gym with a good mix of clientele, like Gym Hub. I wouldn't say it's mostly girls. It does have more females to males, mostly because it's a college crowd. And I don't know if you guys have checked the stats, but I think colleges are like 60 or 65% women now. For many years, women were discouraged from getting college educations. They were just supposed to get married out of high school. Obviously, that's changed. We're going back in time now. So women are encouraged to go to school, get their degree, become a boss bee, make that money. And a lot of guys are not going to college anymore. Colleges ain't what it was cracked up to be. It's not what it used to be, where it used to be sort of a degree used to sort of guarantee you, for the most part, some kind of job. Fairly, if you had a college degree, you could get a decent paying job. For many, many years, that was the case. Now, it doesn't guarantee you anything. And there's plenty of people that didn't go to college. They've become business owners, entrepreneurs, influencers. Where there's a million ways people are making really good money now without a college degree. Not to say that college is worthless, but unless you're studying something very focused like engineering, something in the medical field, trade school, something where you're definitely going to get a high-paying job out of college, I don't think I would do it. I wouldn't want to go into debt anymore. But yeah, the gym you have to be careful. If you look at it, just look. If you look for a second too long, now you're staring, you're a creep, you're ogling. If you say anything, that's harassment. It's tough times out there to be a dude. Dudes are probably for people that can't grow their own hair. I don't know. Maybe they just want to have the pubic hair for like a week or for one night or for a party or something. I don't know. Something temporary. I read that they began years ago from prostitutes. It's like going back to, I don't know how long, 200, 300, 400 years ago, where prostitutes in Europe, they would shave their pubic hair because of lice, because they were always getting lice. Wonderful, right? So they would shave that, and then they would keep they would put the wig on, and that could just be taken off and washed or whatever, because the shaved look probably it's in vogue now, but I think couple hundred years ago, up until fairly recently, if a man saw a woman with a shaved pubic hair, he'd be revulsed. He'd be like, "Oh, you look like a child." Somehow that became the thing. We need more hardcore bodybuilding gyms. Basically, all going out of business in my city. The problem is gyms are there to make their business. They're exist to make a profit like any other business. And if you're only catering to hardcore bodybuilders, good luck. Good luck. You're not going to be in business very long. There's just not a lot of hardcore bodybuilders. Planet Fitness has done so well. They're cheap. It's cheap equipment. They're not huge. They don't have any amenities. There's like no aerobics rooms, no childcare, nothing. It's just a weight floor with all generic machines that are all the same. They're all the same brand. Dumbbells up to 50, no barbells. A lot of them don't have barbells, and $10 a month. And it's for regular people. And most of them buy the memberships or pay the memberships and never even show up in the first. That's the last time you ever see them. But hardcore bodybuilding, it's anything that only appeals to hardcore bodybuilding. It's a real niche market. You might get away with it with something that's online. You don't have any overhead, right? But a gym has overhead. You're paying your lease. I think my gym, I think the lease is like $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month. It's at least 20. I know that. It's 20 or 30,000 bucks a month just for the space. It's a big place. Don't get me wrong. But you have that. You have to pay the utilities. You have to heat the place. In the colder months, you have to keep the place air conditioned. So the electric bills are crazy. People are taking showers all the time. The water bills are crazy. You have to pay employees. There's a lot of investment. There's a lot of money that goes into running a gym, even a hardcore gym. You still have to pay for all those things. So do you have enough membership cash coming in on a monthly basis to cover those and still turn a profit? Because if you're running a business, you have to be turning a profit, or else what are you doing? If you're just breaking even and paying the bills of the place, now you can't pay your own personal bills as an owner. How do you pay your mortgage, your car payments, your health insurance, things like that? So yeah, that's why hardcore bodybuilding gyms have sort of gone away. They can't financially sustain themselves, kind of like the WNBA. Hardcore gyms attract people with bad gym etiquette. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would be very, very intimidated to go to a place like, I've never been to Westside, but I did go to Temple Gym twice when I was there in the UK years ago, 2010. Metroflex is another one. So they don't tend to be the cleanest places because the members there don't care. Sometimes you'll see people spitting on the floor. There's chalk everywhere. A lot of guys on gear sort of growling and grunting and screaming while they're lifting and scowling. And, that scares the crap out of most regular people. So I don't know about bad gym etiquette, Raymond. I would actually, I've seen, I've seen plenty of bad gym etiquette at every gym. I don't think it's endemic to any one type of gym. I think most people in general have bad gym etiquette, or I should say most people, but you'll see it at every type of gym, just because there's a lot of people out there who either don't know any better or they don't care. They're just inconsiderate. The same type of people that would take a shopping cart out of the Walmart or out of the supermarket and leave it instead of putting it back where the carriages go. So, it might roll into somebody's car and give them a dent. Just people that don't care. Yeah. Yeah, I think if anything, Double M's make a good point. Yeah, it's true. I think hardcore gyms actually have better gym etiquette because these are experienced trainers and they tend to respect the facility more. They tend to respect each other more because they all share a common bond. They've been doing this for a good amount of time and they take it seriously. So I think you're actually going to see better gym etiquette at a hardcore place by far than you are a commercial gym. I mean, I left the gym. I have a gym in my town here that's 5-minute drive, 6-minute drive. I could be there in 5 minutes. Great equipment, big swimming pool, big indoor basketball court, but they have a lot of members that are not really there to train. A lot of them are there on day passes for swimming or basketball, and they come around, they screw around with the weights, and they leave weights everywhere. I don't think it's changed. I haven't been there in years, but I doubt that situation's changed. They leave weights everywhere. I just got sick of it because I'd see like every machine, every leg press had plates left on it. Everything, every bar, every bench press, every squat rack had like plates piled on that they just left there. And I was like, I was so disgusted. And I used to train with Chris Griffin, the Goon. When we were training there, the last year or so we were there, he was almost getting into fights with people, telling them, put your weights away. And they get so upset that he dared to have the audacity to ask them to even though there were signs posted on the wall. I think there was like 10 different signs saying, put your weights away, put your weights away. And people wouldn't put their weights away. And they would get really upset if you asked them to put their weights away. I remember one time some guy left, I don't know, 8 plates on a leg press. And I was, I could do that, but I don't want to start with that. So I came up to him and I said, do you mind putting your weights away? And I wasn't being confrontational. I wasn't sounding angry, nothing. There was nothing in my tone of voice that would indicate anything like that. And he got so mad. He said, those weren't my weights. That was someone else. I said, I was right there. I was just doing leg curls 10 feet away from you. That was your weights. I saw you doing them. And he got so mad. Anyway, so I didn't want to deal with that place anymore. I drive 25 minutes to Bayshore now. It's well worth it. There's still people that leave their weights there, but it's a lot less because there's a lot more people there take their training seriously. And again, they respect the facility. They respect their fellow members is more important in the situation because your members, it's the other people. When you leave weights there, someone's going to have to put them away. Some gyms do have people that just go around and put weights away. But why would you be such a dick that you can't put your weights away? If you can lift the weights, put them away. People, especially young people, aren't as social as in the past. Yeah, I mean, when I was, it's not only that, but they've had no one to really show them the way, the ropes. When I was a kid in gyms, when I was a young guy, the older people would correct you on form. I never really left weights or anything, but I would see them. They wouldn't let bullshit stand. They would call you out on it. They'd say, kid, put your weights away. Kid, do this, do that. They wouldn't stand for nonsense. So, we all got that sense that, well, okay, we're supposed to respect the gym and respect the other members. And, there's a certain code of conduct, a certain etiquette. And I think a lot of these young kids don't really have that. Going to build a home gym, don't have to get told I'm too old in insurance risk. I'll tell you though, home gyms, I think a lot of people, Kevin, during the pandemic, I think a lot of us saw the value of having a home gym. We were training, most of our gyms were shut down. And if you already had some equipment, you were lucky because if you had to go out and buy it, there was price gouging. People were charging exorbitant money, big money. I remember I saw a 300-pound weight set, which retail value at a place like Walmart or whatever, or a sporting goods store, probably be like $300, $200. It wouldn't be that much money. Let's say $300. And I saw them going for as much as $3,000. Dumbbells, a pair of 50-pound dumbbells would be like $300-400. I saw people were just going bananas. If they had weights to sell, they were getting top dollar. But so we have a room here that my wife has been training in. She just finally started going back to the gym, but still she trains at our little home gym. It's a room not much bigger than the one I'm in right now. Just a bench, dumbbells up to 50, a bar, some bumper plates, an easy curl bar with some plates. What else do we have? A really good stationary bike that she had got before the pandemic. And my brother, I was fortunate. One of my older brothers had like a multi-gym, something you could do like lat pull downs, bench press. It had weight stack in the middle, and you could do different things on it. And he offered to give it to me because he hadn't used it. He had bought it years before, and it was sitting in his basement. So he hauled it out here. My brother Daryl, God bless him. He hauled it out here, like a 2-hour drive for him. Helped me set it up in the room, and I was using that for a good year, and it was a lifesaver. And it's right there. It's in your house. You have no excuse. You don't have to fight traffic. You don't have to drive anywhere. You can if you're working at home, you can work right up until you're going to train, and you can go back to work if you need to. You could do half your workout, and if something comes up, you could stop. You can do it later without driving back and forth and back and forth. It's just super convenient. It's not as, you could, if it's summertime, you can train with your shirt off. Nobody cares. You can blast your own music as loud as you want. It's your gym. You can train nude if you want, I guess, if you really want to. But yeah, I mean, Kevin, a home gym, if you have the space and if it's not going to financially break your bank, it's a cool thing. It really is, because you don't need a whole lot. A basic weight set, you can do a lot with just a bench and a barbell and some weights and maybe some adjustable dumbbells. You don't need a whole lot. If you have a little more space, you can get like a little power rack. So you can do squats. We all got very creative, I think, during the pandemic. Those of us who were training at home, and you realize you can do a lot. There's certain things you want. Like when I got back to the gym, I couldn't wait to do like things like leg curls and lat pull downs, seated cable rows. Even though I was kind of approximating them at home here with the setup I had, it wasn't quite the same. But yeah, Kevin, if you can do it, if you can build a home gym, yeah, you'll be like, I think a lot of people never went back to the gym. Once the gyms opened up, I think a lot of people who had built home gyms, they enjoyed the freedom of it so much, and the practicality and convenience, they never went back, which, hurt the gym business quite a bit. They were depending on those people coming back. Like my wife didn't come back until she only came back very recently. And she had been training at home for years, for about 4 years. She'd been training at home. Yeah. Strange days indeed, Kevin. Strange days indeed. Yeah. Like I said, great investment, and, if it's, as we saw from the pandemic, if you ever want to get rid of that equipment, there's a market out there. You can go on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. You could always sell it if you really wanted to. There's always a demand for home gym equipment. My alma mater is 55%. Oh, okay. University of Miami. 55%. I think that's actually a low percentage of females for a university or college. I'm pretty sure the average is like 60% now across the board, which that doesn't sound too different, but I bet 50 years ago it was probably like 40% women and 60% men. So see a shift like that just in like a generation, it's pretty significant. Oh yeah, I mean, hardcore gym. I think we all have that fantasy as bodybuilders that we would love to have a home gym that had everything that a commercial gym has. We all sort of fantasize, what would I get? I would get a leg press, I get a hack squat, I get this, I get that. And you imagine, a pretty good sized one. Like the best home gym I ever had the experience of training in was in Arlington, Texas at Ronnie Coleman's house. He's moved, but I think he's building another home gym there too. So Ronnie had two, they call them Four Seasons rooms. I think they're, glass encased, like a big porch. So you could go outside and in the winter or the summer or whatever you want. It's in addition to a home. He had got two of those like installed where they were conjoined. So it was a pretty good amount of room. And he had everything there, everything. Dumbbells up to 200, leg presses, hack squats, calf raise machines, cables, tons of hammer strength. He's with Panada now, I think. So I think Panada is going to hook him up with everything for his new home gym. But yeah, I think that's our secret. I remember like even as young as being in my teens, early 20s, having dreams where I had like a big room upstairs in my house that had all these machines. I was like, wow, how cool would that be? Yeah, I think it's every meathead's fantasy. Years ago, I got intimidated by these guys all shirtless posing around. Yeah. Yeah. They're making fun of me. No, I mean, I think most guys, I think if they have their shirts off, I think they're probably worried about somebody making fun of them, calling them out for either being arrogant and a douchebag for having their shirts off, or either openly or silently critiquing them and thinking, oh, this guy's got no back, or he's fat, or he's got no arms, or whatever. But no, most bodybuilders wouldn't be like that. They would just, they're so focused. I hate to say it, but they're so self-absorbed in what they're looking at in the mirror. They're not taking the time to look at everyone else around them and judge. They're lasered in narcissistically on their reflection and checking out the gains. So, yeah. So what do you think of Carlos Thomas Jr. updates? This where I hear he's doing South America. Yeah, I mean, he's who else did I hear was doing that? I think I heard Sergio Oliva's doing that too. Yeah, I think Sergio announced that would be his comeback show after he's been away for a little bit since that Legion where he didn't really it didn't look very good. Yeah, Carlos looks great. I'm a big fan of Carlos. Huge guy, huge kid. He's a young guy. Is he like 30 now? 32. Really round, full muscle bellies. A lot of poses. He reminds me of Phil Heath. Condition was pretty good at his debut. He did the Texas last year, and I think he took third behind Andrew Jacked and Hunter Labrada. Two guys I wouldn't be ashamed of taking third behind those two. Condition was pretty good. Could be a little better, but he's just figuring all that out. And I think he's going to be a top pro. If not this season, well, I think it will be this season. I think we're going to see him level up a little bit. And then every season he's going to get better and better. It's probably going to take a couple years for him to really hit his stride and get to where he really fully needs to be in terms of just balancing everything out, a little more back thickness and detail, and just nailing that condition. But Carlos is amazing. He's going to be great. Like I said, I knew him. I met him when he was an amateur. I met him with his dad at the Olympia or the Arnold. I can't remember which one it was. And I saw him, and he was like walking around just in a T-shirt. You could see the shape. When people have these great genetics, it's impossible to hide. They're different from regular bodybuilders. They're a whole other level up. It's like almost another species. Someone who has the potential to be a top pro bodybuilder, they're different. They're not like us. They're not even like most pros. They have a totally different look where immediately you're like, wow, this guy's great. And at that point, he was still an amateur, hadn't even done, I think he had done the USA a year or two before that as a light heavy. Yeah, he was a light heavy. And then he comes back as was he top of the heavies or was he super? I think he was a super. Yeah, he's a big kid, great shape. Carlos beating Vito if his UC doesn't get the best of him. Yeah, we're talking about good Vito, Vitaly Ogolnikov, living in Brazil, originally from Russia. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Vito didn't make his pro debut. He broke his leg, or he had some sort of leg injury as he was getting ready for, I think he was going to do Prague last year, Romania. He was going to do one of those shows, post-Olympia shows. He never made it. Great. He's got a great physique too, but if you asked me to pick one and there's money involved, I'd put my money on Carlos. Next channel. Well, we could go to the updates. Let's take a look. Since we're talking about Carlos, why not? Let's go to Instagram. I'll make sure I don't mute myself this time. Let's hope. I don't understand how Instagram can get away with like full-on nudity the way they do. I'm not going to show you the channel I just came up on, but I just don't get it. So let's see. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to see what he's showing on his Instagram. Hopefully he's got some recent stuff there. Share. Okay, so first I want to make sure I'm not muting myself. Nope. Okay. So let's see. Anything in the stories? No. So this isn't recent. This was the Texas. Oh, geez. This is way back. This is 26 weeks ago. I think he just got it reposted. Yeah, look at the mass on Carlos. Look at the arms, the legs. My goodness, those legs are in some of the best quads in the sport today, bar none. Any division. Tremendous quad development. Look at that. That reminds me of Phil Heasp. Hamstrings are great. Look at the drop on the hams. Wow. Yeah, it's too bad this isn't zoomed in a little bit better. Condition glutes they're kind of in there. You can see some striations there. He's not like totally dug out dry. And like Raymond says, UC, which I know more than I wish I knew about. You'll also have colitis because my son Christian was diagnosed with it about 3 years ago. So you have ulcers inside your colon. And when they get inflamed, you have these, not outbreaks, called flare-ups, where you have just your horrible, horrible diarrhea. Yeah, there we go. Middleweight, his first NPC Nationals, he was a middleweight. And yeah, he was a super in 2021. So he went from 176 pounds to, I believe he was about 235 when he won the Nationals. Okay, so this is Brazil 2 days ago. Look at that. This looks like Photoshop, but it's not. I've seen him up close, and his legs really are this big. The sweep, that sweep is really what makes him extra impressive. Size by itself, if you have huge thighs, but they're straight up and down, it's not that impressive. But this round sweep, that's what really makes a big, big difference. What's this? Darkness Nation. So I think he's sponsored by them. Make sure. Got to make sure I'm not muted again. Showing his legs again. Man, I would show my legs all the time too. Yeah, he's looking huge. Huge. Yeah, he's going to be doing very, very well this season. Very, very well. You going to take a shirt off? Okay. So this was 2 weeks ago. I wish there was a little light here, a little more. Is he going to go over in the light, I hope? Thank you. Oh, no. It's a training. Some training stuff. Yeah, this is a thick, thick man. You don't see that combination of size with that fullness and round shape very often. It's a rarity. And, you know, like I said, all he really needs to do is nail his condition, a little bit more back thickness, and he's up there with anybody. Like I said, he already took third at his pro debut behind two amazing, amazing guys. Being trained by this guy, Cruz Bodybuilder Pro. Okay. Real slow negatives on that hack squat. More training stuff. We don't want to see him with the shirt on. Yeah, Carlos is great. This was 5 weeks ago. Yeah. All right. Go back to you guys. Stop stream. Stop stream. Okay. Yeah. Sacco Genesian. Sacco goes to Bayshore Athletic Club. He's a good friend of Dr. Tuliados over in Greece. I think, Sacco, I think you own a place in Greece, right? Yeah. So thank you. Appreciate it, Sacco. By the time you see me, hopefully it'll grow in a little bit better. Yeah. Kevin, thank you for the questions. Thank you for stopping by. Have a great weekend. And I think I will put a damper on it now. It's been a little bit over an hour. It's 5 o'clock here on the East Coast. So check this channel over the weekend. I'm going to put up the Jose video with the Arnold preview, probably first thing Sunday morning. Sunday morning, I'll put that up. We're going to talk tomorrow, late afternoon. Kevin and Jose is just, I love doing the previews with him because Jose has a real eye. He sees aspects and qualities of physiques that very few other people can see because they don't have that educated eye. He's also been a judge. He is a judge. So he sees things from a judge's perspective. So he understands why people will place the way they do. He understands exactly what the judges are looking for, what attributes, what qualities, and why people are going to place in. 9 times out of 10, when I do these previews with Jose and I ask him for his top 5, I'd say 9 times out of 10, he's dead on. They shake out exactly the way he thought they would, unless somebody comes in off and somebody else really comes in at their very best that we've never seen, which there's no way of foretelling that ahead of time, obviously. But check that out. Guys, again, please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Trying to get to 5,000 members. Trying to really build this channel up and bring in some better content, some good, new, fresh content. And that's it. Like the videos if you like it. Share it on your platforms. Leave some comments. If you want to leave some questions here, if you're watching this on the replay, leave some questions in the comments below. I'll get to them on the next one. And of course, any kind of comment is good for the algorithm. So even if you want to say, great video, or I didn't like your video, put it in the comments. I appreciate it, guys. Have an awesome weekend. Appreciate you guys all watching.